Hey guys, good evening. It's just about the end of day 10 to a new me, and I'm really excited to share this video. I had something happen today that was such a learning lesson I'm excited to share. I was driving, I was on my way to work, and I was working with a director, and it was me and him in a car. And we were driving down the street, and here I live in Hollywood. There's homeless people all over the place, laying passed out. Um, and people often just step over them or walk by them, or they don't see them, like they've become invisible, and we make assumptions. Well, we were driving down the street, and we come up to a red light, and to the right of me on the corner, literally at the corner where the light is, there was a man laying on the floor in dead man's position, which, if you don't know what that is, it's face down. His arms were above his head, and one of his knees was like up towards his chest, so like almost like his pelvis was into the ground. And I looked at the guy I was with, and I'm like, "Do you think he's okay?" And he's like, "Oh, he's probably just a homeless guy, just passed out." And this guy's from New York, so he sees it all the time, also. But I just, something in my gut was like, "No, this is not right." I'm like, "Do we stop?" And he's like, "No, we gotta go. We gotta get to work." And so I drive through the intersection. I said, "No, I have to stop." And I pulled over to the right in a red zone. I was like blocking a driveway, and I just like, "Give me a minute." And I got out and I ran across the street. And I come up to this man, and he's crying, laying on the floor. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Okay, I'm gonna call 911." And he can't move. And I run back, and I get my phone from my car, and I sprint back over the man, and he's crying, and he speaks Spanish and a little bit of English, and this Mexican lady had come over and started translating for me, and people who had been walking by, people had been driving by, like nobody had stopped, and this poor man was there, and anyway, he was on blood thinning medication, and he had fallen and hit his head, and needed help, and all he said was he was crying, he was fearful for his life. And the point of the story is not that I helped him, but the point is that we make assumptions about things every single day, and these assumptions, all assumptions, have consequences. And I think that it's a good idea that before we make assumptions, we actually weigh out what are our consequences. What think about the whole situation. Like, if you assume one thing, what could happen? And the more that you start to exercise that muscle, the more that you question your assumptions, the better you'll get at making them really quick. Eventually, you start to lose your assumptions and stop making them, and a lot can come out of that. In this situation, I mean, he could have been fine. If I didn't stop, maybe he gets up in 10 minutes. Maybe there was a chance he could die. We never know, but thank God that I've learned to stop making assumptions. Although I'm not perfect, I do make assumptions. I'm working on that. But, in this case, I did not make the assumption. I pulled over, went over to check on this man, and he needed help. How many people walked by? How many people drove by? How long was he laying there watching these people? No one to help him. So I share with you the lesson that I learned today in the consequences of assumption. And I invite you to rethink, the assumptions that we make every day. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. See you day 11.